hello friends. Imagine the phone ringing at 2 o'clock in the morning. You pick it up, and you hear your grandson frantically crying. He says he was in a terrible car accident, he is in jail, and he needs you to wire $5,000 for bail immediately. The voice is an exact perfect match. The panic sets in, and you rush to your bank. But your grandson was not in an accident. He was sound asleep in his bed. Welcome to the terrifying reality of the 2026 AI voice clone scam. Scammers are now using artificial intelligence to perfectly replicate the voices of your loved ones, weaponizing your own family against you. But the federal government has just issued a total ban on this technology in phone calls, and if you know the secret family password trick, you can stop these criminals dead in their tracks. I want to be perfectly clear right from the start. This is not a science fiction movie or a fake rumor. This is a documented multi-million-dollar financial crime officially tracked by the FTC, and the defense strategies we are covering are the exact protocols recommended by federal law enforcement. By the end of our time together, you will understand exactly how scammers use a 3-second audio clip to clone your grandchild's voice, the strict new FCC ban on AI robocalls, and the step-by-step safe word protocol you must implement with your family today to permanently block this devastating financial trap. I am also going to reveal the Say Yes trap. That is a completely different scam, where simply answering a polite question with one specific word can give criminals the voice print they need to drain your accounts. We will cover exactly how to avoid it. Before we break down that 3-second voice clone, take a second to subscribe. The rules surrounding these financial crimes change every single year, and the government never steps in to explain your defense options in plain English. Subscribers find out in time to protect their life savings. The others find out after the money is already gone. Criminals no longer need to sound vaguely like a young person. They do not have to act or guess. By scraping just 3 seconds of audio from a public social media video on platforms like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook, cheap AI software can instantly generate a perfect voice clone. It captures the pitch, the tone, the exact inflection your granddaughter uses when she laughs. The scammer sits at a keyboard, types a script, and the artificial intelligence speaks it out loud in your grandchild's exact voice. The FTC confirmed this is actively happening right now. You have to assume that any voice on the phone can be completely fabricated. The action you need to take today is to ask your grandchildren if their social media profiles are set to public or private. You need to request that they lock their accounts to friends only. This single step prevents international scam rings from scraping their voice data in the first place. You can never again trust a caller simply because the voice sounded exactly like him. Look at Susan. She is 71 years old, living in Ohio. Susan receives a call from her granddaughter, Emily. The voice has Emily's exact laugh and her exact speaking cadence. The scammer behind that call pays $5 a month for an AI voice cloning software subscription. They use it to trick Susan into wiring $8,000 for a $5 investment. The scammer nets a pure $7,995 in profit in 1 hour of work. Susan loses $8,000 of her strict fixed income. That represents almost 4 full months of her Social Security benefits, wiped out entirely. This scam operates globally. Scammers sit in offshore boiler rooms using voice-over IP technology to clone local area codes. They manipulate the system to make it look exactly like the call is coming from your grandchild's actual city. Once they have the voice, they deploy a highly engineered psychological script designed to bypass your logical thinking. This script always relies on 2 specific psychological pillars: extreme urgency, like a car crash, jail, or kidnapping, and absolute secrecy. You will hear the voice say, "Please do not tell mom and dad, they will kill me." That secrecy is not an accident. It ensures you do not call your own children to verify the story before you send the money. The FTC tracks this specifically as the Grandparent scam playbook. You must listen for that specific demand for secrecy. The moment you hear a voice telling you not to tell their parents, recognize this as the ultimate red flag of a scam. Do not volunteer a name. If a voice comes through the receiver and says, "Grandma, it is me," do not say Timmy. If you give them a name, the scammer will immediately say, "Yes, it is Timmy." Let them provide the name. Force them to prove who they are. Then, break the secrecy rule immediately by calling the parents. Take David, a 75-year-old grandfather. David gets a call from an AI clone of his grandson saying he was arrested in Mexico and needs $10,000 for bail, begging him not to tell his father. If David follows the secrecy rule out of fear, he wires $10,000 and loses it forever. But if David breaks the rule, hangs up the phone, and calls his son, the son confirms the grandson is actually sitting safely at school. David spends exactly 60 seconds making a phone call and saves his entire $10,000 retirement emergency fund. Often, these criminals escalate the pressure. A second scammer will get on the phone posing as a police officer or a public defender. They do this to add false authority to the situation, intimidating you into complying with the financial demands because this technology became so destructive. The federal government had to step in with an unprecedented legal mandate. In a unanimous decision, the Federal Communications Commission issued a total legal ban on the use of AI-generated voices in unsolicited robocalls. This ruling falls under the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. This is a massive shift. It means it is now a federal crime to use voice cloning to extort or market to consumers. You have to acknowledge the weight of this law. Any unsolicited call using an artificial voice to demand money is inherently criminal. Period. Legitimate organizations like the Internal Revenue Service, your local police department, or an actual bail bondsman are bound by this law. They do not use AI voices to demand funds. If you receive a robotic or cloned voice demanding money, you must hang up. Then report the exact phone number and the timestamp of the call to the FCC at consumercomplaints.fcc.gov. Robert experienced exactly this. He receives a frantic call that sounds slightly robotic, claiming to be his local sheriff's department holding his grandson in custody. Because Robert knows the FCC legally banned AI voices for government or police use, he immediately recognizes the call as a felony scam. He flatly refuses to pay the $5,000 demand. He saves his $5,000 and files an FCC report. That report is critical, because it helps telecom providers block that specific scam ring from calling other seniors. State attorneys general now have the power to prosecute these AI scammers across state lines. But because many of these boiler rooms operate overseas, the recovery of your stolen funds is almost impossible. Prevention is the only cure. Even if the voice sounds flawless, the scam completely falls apart the moment they tell you how they want to be paid. The United States legal system and legitimate businesses operate on credit cards, checks, and ACH bank transfers. Scammers operate strictly on untraceable currency. If the caller demands payment via Apple gift cards, Target gift cards, Zelle transfers, or depositing cash into a Bitcoin ATM, it is a 100% guaranteed scam. The FTC issues direct consumer protection warnings on this exact tactic. You must listen closely to the payment instructions. If the caller tells you to drive down to the local pharmacy and buy retail gift cards, stop communicating immediately. If they direct you to a gas station, Bitcoin ATM to deposit physical cash, hang up the phone never. Under any circumstances, read the scratch-off numbers on the back of a gift card to someone over the phone. Linda is 69 years old. She is told her granddaughter needs $2,000 for hospital bills after a severe accident, and the caller demands she pay it using Target gift cards. Linda drives to the store. She buys four $500 gift cards, totaling her $2,000. She reads the scratch-off numbers over the phone. The scammers instantly launder those card numbers on the dark web. Target will not refund her. Her bank will not refund her. Linda loses $2,000 permanently because she used a payment method that lacks federal fraud protection. Wire transfers using services like Western Union or MoneyGram are just as dangerous. Once a wire is picked up by a scammer sitting overseas, the money is gone instantly. A standard bank-to-bank check takes days to clear and can be legally stopped. A wire transfer cannot. So how do you protect your family when the voice sounds real, the caller ID is spoofed, and you are trapped in a state of sheer panic? You install the ultimate family firewall. AI can clone a voice perfectly, but artificial intelligence cannot read your mind. By establishing a strict safe word or a family password, you create an unhackable verbal lock. If a caller cannot provide the safe word, you know instantly it is a machine and not your grandchild. You need to call your children and grandchildren today. Agree on a random, unique word that is easy to remember but impossible to guess. Use a word like Yellowstone, pancake, or bluebird. Make this a strict family rule. If there is ever a real emergency involving money, the caller must say the safe word. When that frantic call comes in at 2 in the morning, you stop them and you say, "What is the family safe word?" John is 74. He gets a terrifying call from a perfect AI clone of his son claiming he was in a horrible wreck. John panics, but he remembers the protocol. John says, "Before I send the $3,000, what is our safe word?" The scammer pauses. He guesses randomly, or he simply gets angry. John realizes immediately it is a scam and hangs up. The cost to implement the safe word was $0. The money John saved from being stolen was $3,000. Do not write the safe word on a sticky note attached to your computer monitor. And do not make it something obvious, like a pet's name that a criminal can easily find by scanning your Facebook page. If you forgot to set up a safe word, or you are simply too panicked to remember it in the moment, there is a physical action you must take immediately. Scammers use caller ID spoofing to create a perfect technical illusion. They manipulate the telecom networks to make your caller ID literally say "mom" or "grandson" right there on the screen. You cannot trust the screen. The only way to verify a caller is to terminate the fraudulent connection and originate a brand new secure connection yourself. The FCC officially warns about this exact caller ID spoofing vulnerability. When you receive an emergency call, do not panic. Say to the voice on the other end, "I am hanging up right now and calling your actual cell phone number." Then, disconnect the call completely. Take your phone and manually dial your grandchild's or your child's known, saved phone number directly from your personal contact list. Mary sees the words "Emily Cell" flashing on her caller ID screen. She answers, and the voice sounds exactly like her granddaughter Emily, crying and asking for $1,500. Mary hangs up the phone, completely ignoring the scammer. She dials Emily's real number. Emily answers from her college dorm room, completely safe. By taking exactly 30 seconds to initiate a manual callback, Mary prevents a catastrophic $1,500 loss. If the grandchild does not answer when you call back, call their parents, call their roommate, call their school. You must never wire the money blindly just because they did not answer your callback. Finally, while you are protecting yourself from the grandparent scam, you must beware of a completely different trick where the scammer does not want your money today. They just want your voice. This is the say yes trap. Scammers will call you and ask a simple, polite question, like, "Can you hear me?" or "Is this John?" Their only goal is to record you clearly saying the word yes. They then take this audio recording of your voice saying yes and use it to authorize fraudulent credit card charges or to bypass voice biometric security systems at your bank. The FTC tracks this specific authorization scam. When you answer the phone, if a strange voice immediately asks, "Can you hear me?" go on high alert. Never say the word yes. Instead say, "I can hear you." Or ask, "Who is calling?" Better yet, if you do not recognize the number, simply do not answer the phone. Let it go to voicemail. David answers a call from an unknown number. A voice says, "Hi, am I speaking with David?" David politely replies, "Yes." The caller instantly hangs up. The scammer takes the recording of David saying yes and splices it into a fake verbal contract, agreeing to a $100 a month fake subscription service. Because the criminals have his actual voice agreeing to it, it is incredibly hard to dispute the charge with his bank. David loses $100 a month for 6 months, meaning he suffers a total loss of $600 before he finally notices the charge and freezes his card. The absolute safest defense against all of these voice scams is the no answer rule. If the number is not saved in your contacts, do not pick up. Legitimate callers will always leave a voicemail. Your family's voice is no longer absolute proof of their identity. By establishing a strict family safe word and utilizing the hang-up protocol, you strip the scammer of their greatest weapon, your panic. Subscribe, share this with someone you know who's on Social Security or Medicare. I'll see you in the next one.